upset about this. Like, he's like, I got labeled this, I got pegged with this. With it is true, Jerry. You run everything. You said the buck stops with you. You say you consult with some people, but the buck stops with me. So the final decision is yours. Just own that. When people say I'm loud, I don't get upset when people say I'm loud. I've earned that. I've encouraged them to believe that. You and I know I'm not like that. I'm in myself, got my candles burning. I'm meditating before Steve get there, you know, before we get ready to do our thing. But the perception is, but Jerry, you earned this. You the one that said, even though people thought Jimmy had to say, it was me. Coach Parsons, they thought Bill had to say, but it was me. You did this, Jerry. I don't know why he doesn't want to own it now, Skip. It's okay. You know why? Because it's been unsuccessful. So had they won them, let me ask you a question, Skip. In the last 25 years, if Jerry would have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls, and people say, Jerry, it's not a we, it's Jerry makes all the decisions, you think he'd have said, oh, no, it's a we thing or it's a me thing? Because remember, that's what got Jimmy up out of there.
True.
I read that article, Skip. There were some things in the article I didn't even know. I was like, huh? Jerry, you felt some kind of way that Jimmy was getting all that shine. And when he wouldn't toast you, you got all upset within your feels. That's what they say, not Jerry, that's the thing. He was in his fields. Jerry was in his fields back in the 90s, way back when. So, no, Skip, it ain't no we. It's a Jerry, and it's the way it's been. It's the way it's always going to be, but it sounds good. Skip, I can't say on the honeymoon, this is how it's going to be. You're going to be just a certain type of way. I got to make you think it's going to be a certain way, or you might not, you know, we might not even make it back from the honeymoon.
Sounds deceiving.
Yeah, it's deceiving.
You know, you should read the book I wrote about Jimmy versus Jerry, and you might be like, wow, that happened?
Yo.
Just for the record.
Okay, I'm going to read the book right here.
Yeah.
You got one back?
You don't have time to
you got one on hand? You got one you can...
No, it's okay. Happened too long ago. So, I agree with your premise. The buck stops on that man, Gerald Wayne Jones Jr.'s desk.
Yes.
But occasionally, I believe he has passed that buck before. And I thought Todd Archer on ESPN.com wrote a good piece. And his premise is that no matter what you think, outsiders think, the reality of how the Cowboys have operated for years has been hard for outsiders to believe, because he points out that 1998, he had hired Chan Gailey to be his new coach, post Barry Switzer. And for whatever reason, Chan Gailey did not want Randy Moss. A lot of people did not want Randy Moss.
Well, I can understand, because Chan is very devout.
You know Chan Gailey.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He was my position coach when I first arrived in Denver.
When he made his feelings very clear about that, Jerry said, okay, we will not draft Randy Moss. So he passed the buck on that one. 2003, Parcells had come in, and he wanted to move on from Emmitt Smith, according to Todd Archer, and I've heard these stories. And so Jerry said, okay, he's the all-time leading rusher. Let's move on. Let's go in a new direction, because you're the new coach and you need to start.
Same thing with Larry Allen.
Okay, there you go. And then at one point early on, Jason Garrett, 2011, he said, we got to build or rebuild an offensive line. Please take an offensive lineman first. And they took Tyron Smith, and the rest is Pro Bowl history, right? So that was Jason Garrett's idea. Then Jerry overruled and took Terrell Owens when Bill Parcells didn't want him. And he overruled and took Greg Hardy when nobody wanted him, especially me.
You're right.
And yet that's when he big-footed them and said, nope, I'm going to do this.
I think even his daughter wanted him to pass on that one.
That is correct. I hope she did not. I'm pretty sure she did not.
Yeah.
So here comes Mike McCarthy. And the point is that I don't believe Jerry Jones ever liked Bill Parcells, or vice versa.
Right.
I don't think they ever really got along socially, but it was just a point where Jerry was desperate, and he's a big guy and about as made a man as you're ever going to find. I'm going to hire him, and I'm going to sort of back off and let him go until I decide, boy, for marquee value, box office, that T.O. guy, he'd be pretty great for us, right? He's born to be a Dallas Cowboy. So the point is, from that press conference I watched 1 week ago today, Jerry hit it off with Mike McCarthy. They are going to drink a lot of beer together, and they're going to eat a lot of nachos together. And I'm not sure the nachos will be all that great for Mike McCarthy, who might ought to push away from the Broncos, right?
Skip. Well, I see big things in his future.
I know, big things. Yep, I agree. So, but the point is, they clicked.
They did.
And again, losing can unclick them real
But Skip,
fast.
you know how Jerry is.
Okay.
Everybody go click with Jerry.
No, not like that.
Well, not Parcells. Now, Skip, you know Parcells was always set in his ways. He believed he should do things a certain way. But Coach Parcells was perfectly fine up in Saratoga. Before, I mean, he got a place in Saratoga now. But when they met on that tarmac in Jersey, Coach Parcells was cool. I believe Jerry needed Coach Parcells more than Coach Parcells needed him. Because at that point in time, Skip, they were just losing and losing and losing. And like you said, the Dallas Cowboys, we got to get a big name.
Okay.
He was the biggest name available.
Okay, but here's Mike McCarthy's point when he says it's a we thing. At least it's a little tiny bit of we, because Mike McCarthy in Green Bay had zero we.
Ted Thompson.
Zero we.
True.
And Ted Thompson said it's my way or highway for all of these guys, including you, Mike, if you don't like it.
Right.
And I am not going to plunge in free agency.
Right.
What will Jerry do if the opportunity...
Oh, he'll plunge.
Oh,
Yeah.
he'll plunge like nobody will plunge, right?
And that's why the first guy to go, Skip, before Mike McCarthy was who? Ted Thompson. Because Mark Murphy said,
He did.
You picked all these guys.
You did.
And they're not developing, so you got to go first.
Yep. So what did Stephen Jones say the other day? He said, I don't want to put words in Mike's mouth, but he said something like, looks like I'm going to have a bigger voice than I did in Green Bay in terms of how we go about building our roster, right?
Yeah.
He will. He's going to have a much bigger, because he had no voice in Green Bay.
So anything is better than nothing, huh?
Okay, so when he says it's going to be we decisions, I think a tiny bit of we, or maybe a quarter of we, or whatever, I think he'll have a little bit of the we.
Well, okay. Well, Skip, you know, when I was going to school, you know, Jenny, I knew all the answers. You know, kid, you raise your hand, you couldn't play. Yeah, I was that guy. And so sometimes the teacher wouldn't call on me because they're like, well, Shannon, we want to go around. We want everybody to participate. Well, if they don't know, call on me because I know, because I'm ready to move on. Oh. So, you know, I raised my hand, Skip. And then when they wouldn't call on me, guess what I do? I just blurt the answer out anyway.
Yeah. It's fitting, considering you do this for a living.
I know them.
But you couldn't go to Georgia because you didn't have the grades.
I was little then. I knew all the answers little. Skip, I had a great, I can remember things. Yeah. But as you got, you know, little high, Skip, look, I was so good. I ain't got time to be doing no homework. I was busy.
That explains.
Busy.
So that explains why you're so unprepared for this show every day, right?
No, but then I got to school and I was like, you know what? Going to class, because guess where the girls went? To class. All the guys that came with, a lot of the guys that came with me, they didn't want to go to class.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah. And guess who's in the front of the class? With a briefcase, with a collared shirt, starched jeans? Me.
Briefcase.
Mr. Sharp. That's what they call me. They call me Mr. Sharp.
Sitting next to Jenny in the front row, right?
I was not a front row gal.
I was the front row.
No.
Yeah.
I like the middle. I don't need to be in the front.
Truth be told, I was doing my girlfriend's homework. Now that we talking about it. Yeah, I was in the library in the conference room doing the work.
None of this makes sense.
It makes sense to me.
It doesn't really add up.
I don't get
but I'm glad you seem to know the answers now.
I do.
You're trying. At least you believe you do.
I'm more prepared now than I was then because I didn't take school serious. Because I'm going to the NFL and then, you know, I don't need to know multiplications and history. Nobody's going to ask me what day was Abraham Lincoln assassinated. Nobody's going to ask me that. But they're going to ask me how to get to the end zone. And that's what I'm going to be able to do. And I was able to do that and pick up a little information along the way.
Impressive. Well, I wasn't born with your IQ or your mental capacity.
There you go.
I just overachieved.
Just worked hard.
Yeah, I just outworked.
No.
Were you in the front row? Were you a front row guy?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're a front row guy.
Try to answer all the
No
questions.
one's not turning in homework around here.
And you see what happened? I'd have been Ken Jennings on you. Every time they ask you a question in class, I'd have gotcha.
Really?
Yep.
No, I would have been Jeopardy James on you.
Exactly.
Yes.
I feel like that would be
Ken
fun.
Jennings won. Jeopardy James, they win.
You guys, do you really meditate before the show? You said that
I
at
hate
the
to
beginning.
say this,
I don't
but
know.
do you realize you just spoiler alerted me?
Oh.
Do you know you just ruined my week? You just blew my whole week.
I thought you didn't watch it?
We have been scrupulous in not, like, just tune it out. We can't watch till Friday. I work on weeknights. I actually do prep for the show on weeknights. So I can't watch until Friday, and then we watch them all.
All of it?
So now you gave it away.
Okay, well, James won.
Yeah, right.
Shannon, you just ruined his week.